Welcome, everyone. I'm Sergeant Chelsea Baker.
And I'm Specialist David Erskine. And today we have another first in our podcast. We actually have one of our deployed soldiers on the phone with us, who is going to be joining us and this is the person who brought me into the public affairs world on the full-time side is joining us, and that's Lieutenant Colonel King. And she is, like I said, she's deployed, and she's going to join in with us and talk with us about some stuff that's going on. So thank you, ma'am, for taking time out of your day and joining us for this.
No, thank you. I appreciate all you do and appreciate you giving us this chance to talk to you about how we're doing over here with the 4th of the 118th and the 30th Armored Brigade Combat Team.
And so with that being said, I guess, how has everything been going so far? Because y'all have been over there for a minute at this point in time, yeah?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, most of the unit got mobilized late summer, and we got here very early fall. Morale is great, but I have to share with you, we had a unique event today. We had a mixture of a dust storm and rain. So I think they may call that a cement storm. Not quite sure, but it's...
That sounds terrible.
It is. It's pretty messy outside right now. But the good news is our S2 briefed us and said this will pass through pretty quick. But right now, it's pretty dusty out there and pretty messy.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about, I guess, kind of a little bit on your story side of things is, correct me if I'm wrong, but you didn't actually officially deploy as a public affairs asset. I mean, you've been doing some public affairs work, but you're actually in a slightly different position. Is that correct?
No, actually, what's so unique about this mission, and I think it's a testament to public affairs, is that we're a critical player over here, getting the messaging out, getting the connection to the families, getting the connection to the American people, as well as sharing that confidence to our Middle Eastern partners. Originally, I was going to come up here and do a multifaceted role, but once I got on the ground, they realized public affairs is very important. And it's been an honor to support and get out there with the soldiers to the different countries that we've been supporting and helping show those partnerships and some of the tough training that everybody's been doing. So fortunately, to both of y'all, it's a great career field to be in right now, and it's an important part of the war fight.
Now, I will give kudos because they are on things on public affairs side over there that my wife will come tell me stuff that happens before I find out here. She's like, Colonel King just posted this. Oh, got it. All right, I'm up to date. I know what's going on. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, you've been killing it, so it's awesome.
Oh well, thank you. Appreciate the word. I'll pass it on to the team.
Yeah. Sergeant Baker?
Yeah. So I know that I was talking to you, ma'am, a couple days ago about where you were and stuff, and you were telling me that you were in Jordan. Are you still currently in Jordan, or are you back in Afghanistan or wherever you were to begin with?
Yeah, we've been a lot of places. Right now, I'm back where we originally started. Right now, I'd prefer to just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I know they want to just let us refer to it as we're in the Central Command Area of Responsibility. Mm-hmm. We have a very large footprint over here. And I've been able to get to at least 3 countries, and we have soldiers in many different countries working with our Middle Eastern partners and doing a lot of really great training. I've got to tell you, the 4th of the 118th is kicking it. They are phenomenal. The South Carolina Guard is at the tip of the spear. They've been amazing. And I've got to tell you, it's been awesome to get out on the ranges with them. They're firing the M1 Abrams, their Bradleys, they're up on the guns. And you know what's great? They're having fun. They've working together as long as they have. They are one team, integrated in this brigade combat team, just doing amazing things. And I look at things not only as a public affairs officer, I look at things, I'm a little older. I look at things as almost like a parent. They should be so proud of these young soldiers, the spouses, the parents, brothers and sisters. There's so much to be proud of here. I hope we're sharing that story and getting that word to them so they can see it and feel that pride.
Now, with that being mentioned, this is obviously not your first deployment, but has this one been a little bit different for you compared to maybe some of the other ones you've been on?
Well, first of all, I guess on a positive side, Afghanistan was much more kinetic. That when we were there in 2012, it was a lot more volatile with, attacks. Here, fortunately, we've been able to integrate more with our partners and work on sustaining that stability and more training. We've been very lucky that most of the areas that we're operating in, We're connected with those partners and their training, and we have not had the degree that we had back in 2012 of any type of hostilities. As a matter of fact, when some of our soldiers go out, they come back and tell us they had people waving at them. Little kids came out to see some of their equipment. So I think the reception here in the different countries they've been going to has been phenomenal. Very, very, very positive.
Now, one thing while we're talking about it kind of popped in my head here. You mentioned the 30th, and we've thrown around the ABCT thing a couple times, but really, if you can kind of expand on that and how that kind of is a unique beast, I guess, for lack of better terms, because it's a conglomeration, really, is what it is that makes that in particular, I guess, cog come together, as it were.
Oh, absolutely. Well, what I would like to share is this mission over here has been a rotational mission. It's always supported by a brigade combat team. We traded or switched out, you might say, with the Fort Carson 3rd. It was the 3rd ABCT 4th Infantry Division. So we assumed that mission. What's neat about this is we assumed it from the active component, and we are all National Guard. We've got not only the South Carolina, they're headquartered with the North Carolina. We've got elements from them, including their field artillery, their engineers, their support battalion. We also have the Washington National Guard, which is the cavalry unit. We've got the West Virginia National Guard, which is also a cavalry unit. And then we also have the Ohio National Guard, who's augmenting resources to support from their armor regiment. So it's phenomenal. This is the National Guard. And what else is unique is we're reporting to the Indiana National Guard. They're our division headquarters, who are getting ready soon to rotate from the New York National Guard. So you talk about being well-trained, ready in the war fight. The National Guard is here, and they're doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a testimony for all the National Guard soldiers, Army or Air or whatever, is that you take these people from all over the place, and obviously a lot of M-Day soldiers as well as full-time and technicians, AGR, and you bring this mass conglomerate together, you deploy and you effectively accomplish the mission, and really that's the tier that the National Guard's at when it comes to these type of things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So. I guess you mentioned kind of the motherly thing of watching over the soldiers and being proud of them and things like that. Has that been the highlight for you for this deployment so far, or has there been anything else that's kind of stuck out for you that's kind of got you in the old heart muscle, as it were?
Well, I've got to tell you, being here over the holidays was hard. I'm not going to lie. A lot of soldiers, you could feel the sadness missing their kids. Some of them, they're missing their children's first Christmas. Some of them, being away at Thanksgiving, they've never missed Thanksgiving. I think the highlight for me is actually getting out to talk to soldiers and hearing their stories. Some of the highlights were seeing them video chatting with their kids, feeling connected through the apps. Thank goodness for technology. And we've been able to have pretty decent Wi-Fi for the most part. So I think being over here for the holidays was both bittersweet, because it made you appreciate things a lot more. I know it was very hard. I'm not gonna lie. It was sad being kind of away from so many traditions that we all enjoy when we're with our loved ones. But it made us look forward more to next year. And I think the soldiers felt that too. And we were so grateful. We got so many care packages, wonderful cards, pictures, drawings from schools and little kids. They sent so much stuff. They were so generous. And I think that was the high point, is all that kindness and generosity, and the soldiers knowing that people back home didn't forget and they thought of them over the holidays.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Also, is the fact that a lot of what makes the machine run is the folks and the families back home. It's that support. It's just, once again, it just shows how involved our families and our communities are to make sure that we're doing okay, and that we can accomplish what we're there to do. And that's excellent. That's outstanding to hear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I know that beforehand we had you and your husband on the podcast before you left, and we keep talking about how your experiences are and stuff. How has it been now since he's retired at home, and this mission is obviously different for you, but how has that been in that experience for you guys?
I've got to tell you, my husband's been amazing, absolutely amazing. And our kids, I get care packages. He's been phenomenal. I even get pictures when he takes the dogs to get their hair done. I'll get a picture of post before and after. The little things.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what really helps me get through the days, being able to talk to him and our kids every night, or, at least our son too, every other day, because he's been very busy with his activities. But my husband's been amazing. And I know that's what's helping keep me strong. Technology has been really important for all of us. Anybody that you talk to, being able to have that connection through your phone, that helps. It really makes the days go faster when, you can see them and have that moment when you're connected with things. But yeah, Dave's been great. I think one of the best things I think he said to me earlier on in the deployment was, "Wow, I didn't realize how much you did." So I was like, "Okay."
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but he's been fantastic.
So, I guess as you move forward here, and whenever y'all may or may not be headed back to the house, but for, I guess, maybe folks that are getting ready, because obviously people are constantly still being deployed and stuff. Now that you're there and kind of back in it, any kind of words of wisdom for maybe soldiers or airmen or whatnot that might be headed out overseas during this next part of the year?
Yeah, well, I think with everything, just have a positive attitude and be flexible. I think the most important thing, and I have to remind myself of this too, I have to always tell myself, don't get fixated on a date. Don't plan too close to when you think you may be going home, and don't listen to rumors. I think that's something that I have to remind myself, that there's always flexibility in the plan. There's always a date. You are going home. You are going home, but you just can't get fixated too much on, well, what about the 5th? What about the 8th? Anything can possibly happen. Even if you're on a plane, how many times have we been on just even a commercial airplane, in the States, and it says, "Oh, okay, that one's been diverted. Now you're flying out the next day," or so I think just having a positive attitude, let your family know, please don't listen to rumors, and please just, if you hear it from me, then we'll know, but don't speculate and don't get stressed, because I think that causes stress too, is getting too fixated on when you're going to come home. One of our chaplains said, I thought something was very good, is don't count the days, but make the days count. I think that's pretty good too, is that make the most of every day, even though you're apart, work on something that you enjoy to make yourself stronger, both at home. I know my husband got back into karate since I've been away. He's getting back, I guess, at Tai Chi or something. So I think, is that what they call it? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he's gotten back into that, and he used to love that in college, and he used to teach it. So he's got back into that, and which is phenomenal. And while I've been here, I've been working on my master's with the War College. So I think if you make every day count and try to improve yourself, so when you are back together, you've both grown. I think that's something else that's very important.
Now, I got a son over there that's in your neck of the woods right now also.
I remember running into him in the dining facility early on.
But one of the things I've thought that was cool for him is he's gotten to experience some stuff that he hasn't done, both at a work level and then at a cultural level, because soldiers need breaks too from time to time. How about you? I mean, obviously you've been deployed a couple times at this point in time. I mean, has there been anything kind of new that you've learned or been able to participate in that maybe not before?
Yes, when we've been working with some of our partnered countries, they want to make sure that they share their culture with them. We've had some very good food. The food over here is very good. Whenever they've treated us to their customs, especially when we were in Jordan. Amazing. Also, some of the traditional cheers. You know how we have our traditional cheers? When you're working with your partners, they have the same motivation, the same type of, I don't speak the language, but they do their same kind of things, go Army, or, that's kind of cool that they have that same military esprit de corps. I know when we are able to do, they call them MWR trips. They haven't had as many lately, but when they are able to schedule some of those, they do try to get the soldiers out on a bus and to go to some of the different areas. But it's been busy with training right now. And I know with the events that happened early in January, they were making sure people, focused on their training and their readiness. And we weren't really able to get out as much, out of, of course, the security concerns that occurred, early January. But is whenever people can get out, yes, amazing food, amazing, they call it bazaars, where you can see some of the local goods and some of the local wares and, buy souvenirs for your loved ones. But right now we're training, we're doing some really good stuff, working with our partners. But when we do have those chances, absolutely, they try to get the soldiers to those locations.
That's good. I mean, that's good, and that's important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's important.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's there. It is for basically what it says: welfare and health and morale, and it keeps the days, because the days do get long. And once again, that just shows the professionalism of our soldiers and airmen, that they dig in and they do it and they accomplish the mission. And everybody has workday complaints, but that doesn't phase them at accomplishing what the end goal is.
Yeah. I got to share one thing that absolutely is taking place here, and I think everyone can get ready for it. Every soldier here is focusing on physical fitness, working on the ACFT, getting out there and training, doing those pull-ups, doing those leg tucks, doing everything. There's a lot of training going out here to get ready for that ACFT and physical readiness. So I think some folks are going to be impressed when they see our soldiers get back. A lot of very, very physically fit troops. So that's a positive. Lots of those activities taking place, getting in the gym, lifting weights, and doing those kinds of things too.
And that brings up a good point, because I think sometimes people overlook that when soldiers are deployed, they think, they're doing this or doing this, they're in the deployed environment, but they're still maintaining their soldier skills on a daily basis. And that's a priority for them, as well as the leadership, it sounds like, obviously.
Yep, you're getting right back to those common core tasks. All of us have chances to get out on the ranges, shot many times, to get out there on the guns, get out there to do your physical fitness. Those basic soldier tasks are absolutely taking place here. I think that's the benefit of being in a location like this. When we leave, we'll be at the highest readiness of any brigade combat team, whether with maintenance, equipment, soldier readiness, soldier fitness, everyone qualifications. That's the advantage of deploying. When you come back, you're ready. Everything you were ready when you left, but you're at the peak of everything, especially that the tanks and the Bradleys and everything being having been worked on them constantly. That's an advantage. You come back even stronger.
And that's stuff they bring back to the state also, and then they can share with the soldiers and the airmen in the rear, and train them up on lessons learned and stuff. And I'm sure you'll have stuff for us in the public affairs realm whenever you come back. You'll be able to train us up on some stuff, so that'll be good.
You guys are doing great.
We're trying, man. We're trying real hard.
You are.
So I'm going to give you an opportunity to kind of finish off with whatever direction you want to go. I know busy and time and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to give you a couple minutes here. If there's anything you want to say, shout outs or whatnot, by all means, ma'am.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, a shout out, of course, to all the families. Couldn't do it without y'all. Couldn't have a sense of purpose without the support of our families and our loved ones. And I think another shout out is to our employers. We know that when our soldiers are deployed, that they carry that workload for them so that they can come back and resume their jobs. Much appreciated. I've heard that a lot from a lot of the soldiers I've talked to. Some of them will say, "Hey, can I send a photo to my employer?" Absolutely. Please do. Tell them you appreciate their support. Even if it's just them getting care packages and then sending a thank you note, that means so much. So, a shout out to our employers, too, as well as our families. And I think even the communities, we're still getting care packages, even though the holidays are over. We've gotten matter of fact, just yesterday, we got another set of boxes from one of the organizations that want to make sure that our soldiers have what they need to get through this deployment. And I know my bosses, Colonel Baumgardner, his priority is to make sure those care packages get out to the most remote areas first, and make sure that those soldiers who may be in an area not like where I am right now, that does have some other areas to eat that aren't the dining facility, and they have the MWR or even a USO, he wants to make sure that some of the soldiers that may not have those type of accommodations get those boxes first. Our chaplains have been all over the place making sure that those boxes get delivered to those soldiers. But I think just gratitude. If I could just end a note on gratitude, that we're very, very grateful to be able to be over here and do this job, and be grateful to, defend freedom and make sure everyone at home stays safe. And just grateful for everything that we have. I know when you come home, such a thing as a nice hot shower, not getting blasted by sandstorms.
Or cement storms, which sound way worse.
You appreciate the little things.
Yes.
And I think the one thing that we've heard too is, when you want to take a shower or even use the latrine, you don't have to go outside. That's also a benefit. Because as soon as you're done cleaning yourself, you're dirty again. But it's the little things.
Well, ma'am.
No, we're grateful.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy day. We're looking forward to having you get back whenever that may be.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so if you need anything from us while you're over there, by all means, reach back to us. And other than that, good luck. We'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully we can have more people come and talk to us on the podcast.
Yeah.
Would love to. Yeah, let us know. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you keeping the state of South Carolina safe while we're over here. So thank you for looking out for the state.
Okay. Well, that's going to be it for this episode. Make sure you hit the notification, like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. Follow us on YouTube. We're still tracking that 500 mark, and check us out on iTunes, and we'll catch you in the next episode.